Krishna, Jayashri, Guru Kumara, and Ali Qadri. If you guys can hear me, please type in S in the chat window, folks. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rama. Thank you, Guru. Thank you, folks. Yesterday, we started with SAP HANA Studio. Today, we will continue with SAP HANA Studio. So SAP HANA Studio is a client tool given by SAP in SAP HANA appliance. Using this client tool, once this client tool has been installed on your local PC, on our workstation, we can use this client tool in order to connect to SAP HANA database instance in order to perform various types of activities. The activities related to administration, activities related to modeling, data provisioning, okay, development, application development, okay, etc. In any edition of SAP HANA, that can be a platform edition, enterprise edition, or extended enterprise edition. In any one of these edition, after SAP HANA IMC, which is core component in SAP HANA appliance, which is also the database HANA in-memory database server, another important component is SAP HANA Studio, because this is the main client tool you will be working with whenever you are working in SAP HANA projects. So before start learning any activity, that can be a data provisioning, modeling, reporting, okay, or BW with SAP HANA, as a SAP HANA consultant, you're supposed to have very good understanding in and out of this SAP HANA Studio. That is the reason I'm spending a lot of time at basics, because if you are not clear with the basics, it's very difficult moving forward. That is the reason, make sure you have to be very clear with the basic concept, especially with SAP HANA Studio, because this is a tool you'll be using not only in training environment for the practice purpose, for in order to complete the assignments, okay, case studies, POCs. In project environment also, you will be working with this tool, okay, most of the time. Well, once this SAP HANA Studio is installed, initially, so you will find SAP HANA welcome screen. So you have an option of launching SAP HANA Studio in one of the available perspectives. Now you can see various perspectives that are available in easy, okay, welcome screen. So once you launched in any one of the perspective, yesterday we discussed about the perspective. Now you can see SAP HANA Studio. On left hand side of SAP HANA Studio, this is called Navigator View. So the Navigator View is an area where we can add one or more HANA database instances. We can directly add HANA database instance in the Navigator View, or you can add under appropriate folders. So you can create a folder, okay, or you can directly add the system also. But make sure you have to always remember you can add more than one HANA database instance to the Navigator View. In the sense, you can add more than one system. It doesn't mean you can add only one system to the Navigator View. Okay, so up to this part we discussed in yesterday's session. Moving forward, in today's class, first I want to go through a quick the concept of HANA, whatever the information available in various tabs in HANA administration console. So once you added HANA database instance or the system to the Navigator View, you can place the cursor in SAP HANA database instance and click on administration console. Well, this is our second session, okay. At this point of time, I cannot explain in detail each and every tab. In order to understand the information available in each and every tab. So we have to complete some more topics in SAP HANA. So once 50 to 60% of HANA course is completed, then you should be in a position to understand so what is the information available in various tabs. Today I will go through, I will walk through each and every tab, but as we move on, I will explain in detail about what type of information available and how you can use this information in a project environment in future sessions. First, in Overview tab. So one more time, how to come to this SAP HANA administration console. Place the cursor on SAP HANA IMC, click on, this is administration console. So whatever the information available in administration console, this information is more useful for administrators. But having the information and idea about what type of information available in each and every tab in this administration console, always helpful in the project environment. So stop me if you have any questions, and for every minute I will for every 15 minutes I will give some time for the questions. So in the Overview tab you can find the general information. In the general information, what is the version of SAP HANA, what is build time and platform on which SAP HANA is running. Platform means the operating system. Only one operating system is supported by SAP HANA. The operating system is SUSE Linux, and the version Enterprise Edition 11.3. It supports from 11.0 also. Now underneath we have SAP HANA used memory, resident memory, CPU usage, disk usage. So we will focus on what is disk usage, what is SAP HANA memory concepts in HANA architecture. So after this SAP HANA Studio, I will be starting SAP HANA architecture before start data provisioning. From data provisioning, we'll have full hands-on sessions. So once we completed one topic, then right away we'll do rigorous hands-on and some concrete project-based scenarios. But before going to data provisioning, as a SAP HANA consultant, you need to have thorough understanding of SAP HANA Studio and architecture of SAP HANA. Then only you can troubleshoot. Whatever the problems you can come across in the project environment, you can easily troubleshoot. If you know which component is responsible for what and all. And the right hand side, current alerts and messages. Alerts means like kind of warning messages. There are three types of alerts. One is alerts with high priority, alerts with medium priority, alerts with low priority. So these alerts are very important for HANA administrators. So to take timely actions for smooth up and running of this database. Now you can see there is one alert with high priority, one alert with medium priority, two alerts with low priority. Now if you want to see the alerts, click on Show Alerts. If you go to the click on Show Alerts, automatically it will switch to Alerts tab, where you can see the detailed information about each and every tab. So you can read the complete alert. So for HANA administrators, this is very important, so they can analyze this alerts information and they can take timely actions for smooth up and running of this database. After this Overview tab, there is Landscape tab. In the landscape, you can see what are the services that are available in SAP HANA database instance, or in SAP HANA in-memory computing engine, or in SAP HANA database server, in-memory database server. Compiler server, daemon, index server, name server, preprocessor, script server, statistic server, access engine. There are different services, and for every service it has got its own responsibility, functionality. So in SAP HANA architecture, we'll see what are these services, what is the functionality of these services. Among these services, the index server is very important. So we will learn the complete architecture of index server, what are the different components in index server, and what is the functionality of each and every component in the index server as a part of our HANA architecture class, which is the next class. Like this, we have compiler server, name server to store the landscape information, statistics server to collect, okay, the statistics about SAP HANA database, again, which is very useful for HANA administrators. Like this, for every service, okay, is responsible for specific functionality. So all these services are up and running. Now you can see this is a service and this is the port on which the service is running. So all the services are running means the database server is up and running. So the landscape, in the sense, in the landscape tab, you can find out what are the services that are available in SAP HANA in-memory database. As a part of SAP HANA architecture class, okay, in the HANA architecture session, so we'll see these services, what is the functionality of these services. Among these services, which service is very important? Index server is very important because this is a service which holds the complete data in the main memory, okay, execute all the operations. Now, using which components it execute all the operations and which component is responsible for executing what type of request from the database clients, okay, how it stores the data, what is the persistence layer. So all these things we'll see as a part of our index server architecture and other services architecture in HANA architecture class. Alerts. Just now we discussed about the alerts. So in the alerts tab, the HANA administrators can find out the complete information about the alerts, okay, and they can take the timely actions based on these alerts for smooth up and running of this database. Performance. Performance is too early to talk about. Like we have different connections, threads, parallel processing, expensive statements. So I'm not going to touch base the performance tab at this point of time. So once we, as we move on, so I will explain so many performance issues, performance tuning methods also in SAP HANA database. Now volumes. What is volumes? What is the purpose of these volumes? SAP HANA is an in-memory database, meaning the complete data resides in the main memory, RAM. But RAM is a volatile. It's a flash memory, right? In any in-memory database, you name any in-memory database, the primary persistence of the data is RAM. But RAM is not a persistent media, like it's a volatile, it's a flash memory. In case of power outage, in case of system reboot, the complete data can be erased from RAM. Then how to implement the data safety? In order to implement the data safety, we need the data persistence on a non-volatile media like disk storage. In SAP HANA, there is a component called persistence layer. So we'll see what is persistence layer, what is the architecture of persistence layer as a part of HANA architecture, HANA database architecture. In SAP HANA database, there is a component called, we'll see detail about the persistence layer, don't worry. Just to explain the concept of volume, so I'm explaining this concept. What persistence layer does? The persistence layer is responsible for data safety. How the data safety, we are managing the data safety in SAP HANA databases by inserting the data from RAM to a non-volatile media like disk storage on a periodic intervals. Those are called save points. What persistence layer does? The persistence layer, for every 2 minutes, for every 1 minute, whenever a save point occurs, it inserts the data from RAM to disk storage. What is disk storage? A non-volatile media. Now the question is, are we going to use the data from disk storage for reporting purpose, for processing purpose at any point of time? No. The data is always will be taken from RAM. Means the data is always available for processing, for reporting from RAM. Then why persistence layer will insert the data on a periodic intervals? Those are nothing but save points. Save points are automatic. We can customize the save points for every 2 minutes or 5 minutes. It depends upon the business requirements. So whenever a save point is occurred, the persistence layer will insert the data from RAM to disk storage. So when the system is going to use the data from the disk storages, whenever, okay, for example, there is a power outage or the system rebooted. In that case, the complete data erased from RAM. Then while rebooting the system, it will read the data from disk storage, and again the data, it makes the data available in RAM. So if you don't have the data in a non-volatile media like disk storage, the data is not safe in any in-memory database, not only in SAP HANA. Because in any in-memory database, the primary persistence of the data is RAM. But RAM is a volatile, it's a flash memory. In case of power outage, in case of system reboot, the complete data can be erased. Then how to implement the data safety is, this is the way how the data safety is implemented in SAP HANA by storing the data on a non-volatile media like disk storage. So in SAP HANA database, which component is responsible for inserting the data from RAM to disk storage on a periodic intervals? Persistence layer. If you look at the volume is nothing but disk storage. Whatever the services in landscape, these are the services. Among these services, what are the services that holds the data? What are the services that holds the data? Say name server, index server. See, the data is inserted in the disk storage. The data volume and log volume. That information you can find it here. Say disk usage, data volume, log volume. So tomorrow I will explain what is the data volume and log volume. So time being, now you can see that, okay, the data volume or the disk, okay, associated with these services. Because why we need the data persistence for each service which holds the data in SAP HANA? Because the complete services are in-memory based. In-memory data, SAP HANA itself is in-memory based. But SAP RAM is a volatile, it's a flash memory. In case of power outage, in case of system reboot, the data can be erased permanently. So we need the data persistence on a non-volatile media like disk storage. So in order to handle the situations like power outage as well as system reboots or any other interruptions. Configuration. What is configuration is, SAP HANA architecture is very vast. So if you look at this SAP HANA architecture, SAP HANA landscape, SAP HANA as an in-memory database will connect to so many other external tools, external technologies. For example, SAP HANA along with SAP HANA will use business object data services for ETL based loading. With SAP HANA we'll use SLT for real-time replication. With SAP HANA we'll use different technologies or integration with SAP HANA, SAP River. Now you want to do some general settings. If you name any tool and in databases, we have some general settings. Settings related to times, okay, time zones, okay, regions, okay. We can do the general settings in the configuration tab. Apart from that, there are so many INI files here, initialization files. Suppose if any tool and technology required any specific setting with SAP HANA, so we can do those settings in configuration tab. Suppose global INI file. So backup, so how, see, you can specify your parameters, you can initialize your general settings. Suppose I want to use direct extractor connection. So for that I need some parameters to be set in access engine INI. So the basis consultant will take care of these setting up the initial parameters, okay, initial settings, and if any whatever the tools that are using in that HANA project, if they required any specific settings to be done in this SAP HANA database, okay, so we can do all those settings in configuration tab. System information. What is system information is, in system informations there are set of tables available. From these set of tables, this system information is useful only for basis consultant. Maybe as a HANA developer, as a HANA subject matter expert, okay, as a HANA molder, most of this information is okay, not useful. But for HANA administrator, whatever the information that is available in system information tab, that is very useful. For example, failed backups. There is a table, failed backups. In this failed backup, it will show you all the log whenever. So HANA administrator is responsible for taking the backup recovery of the databases. So whatever the failed backups, okay, at what time the backup is failed, see, what is the purpose, they can find all the information. Just I'm showing one example. Expensive statements analysis. What is expensive statement? The statement, okay, lasting longer than expected time. Okay, session contest. Now, if you want to know the version of SAP HANA, from Overview tab, you can, okay, here you can find out the version. From system information also you can find out the database version of SAP HANA. In system information, there is a table called database information. Double click on this table. In this table, so you will find what is HANA host name, okay, version here. So like this, the set of tables that are available under system information tab consists of so much of system related information, specifically very useful for HANA administrators. Diagnosis files. In diagnosis files, there are different types of diagnosis files. The files with extension TRC, these are called trace files. The files with extension LOG, log files. So these diagnosis files, very important for HANA administrators to diagnose the root cause of the problem and to take the appropriate actions. So we'll see more details about these diagnosis files in coming sessions. It's too early to give the examples. Now, trace configuration. The trace configuration is the tab where you can activate the trace that is required for our HANA projects. Okay, what are the different types of traces that are available? SQL trace. If the SQL trace is active, what is trace? Means tracking. The database calls for the specific database or application users are traced. The trace data is stored in a file starting with, okay, SQL trace server name here. Performance trace. It's inactive. Whatever the traces that are required for our project, only you can activate those traces, not all the traces. See, expensive statement trace. If the expensive statement trace is active, you can track all the statements that are last longer than the expected threshold value is traced. End-to-end traces, user specific trace, if you want to track a specific user. So whenever a specific trace is activated, it will generate corresponding trace file, and you can go to the trace file, you can find out all the information, okay, which is very helpful for administrators. So in the administrator tab, basically we have various tabs. From these tabs, there is so much information related to, okay, HANA database, okay, and the information is this information is very useful for HANA administrators. So in the overview tab, the general information about SAP HANA database instance, like version and the platform on which it's up and running, the disk usage, the memory usage. From here itself you can see the alerts, and if you want to jump direct to the alert tabs, just you can click on alerts tab, alerts, landscape. In the landscape, it will list all the services that are available in SAP HANA in-memory computing engine or SAP HANA database instance. Now you can see compiler server, daemon server, index server. So every service is responsible for a specific functionality, and all the services are up and running. The database is up and running. If some services is not working, stop, it will show you the corresponding message. Performance. So performance we'll see later on. Volumes. What is volume is? The complete SAP HANA database is in-memory based. Means the primary persistence of the data is RAM. What are the services that holds the data in main memory? In case of power outage, in case of system reboot, the complete data can be erased. So in order to implement the data safety, we need the data persistence on a non-volatile medium. Yeah, I will take your question, sir. Yes, Srikanth, I will take the questions, but I have to complete one topic, then I will take the questions.
Sir, your screen is not moving. It's just at a presentation, PPT presentation. Everybody is saying the same thing. We can't see your screen. You stop sharing and start sharing.
Now you guys can see me.
Yes, now we can see.
It's okay now, it's moving?
Yes, yes, it's moving.
Oh, sorry folks, I did not observe. Thank you, Srikanth. Okay, yeah, so let me quickly recap. So overview tab, in the overview tab, just we can find out the general information about SAP HANA database, like what is the version, okay, so I will keep this one on right hand side so I can see. So the control panel was down to my computer, that is the reason I was not able to see your messages. Sorry about that. Okay, so in overview tab you can see the platform on which HANA server is up and running, and SAP HANA used memory, disk usage. In landscape, all the services that are available in SAP HANA database. So every service, okay, is allocated, okay, is responsible for a specific functionality. If all the services are up and running, and you can see the database is green, the database server is up and running. If you want, Guru is a Guru, you raised your hand. Guru, you raised your hand, sir. You have any question? Victor, I unmuted you. Any question, Victor?
No, I was not seeing the screen before, but now it's fine for now.
Okay.
I have another question, but maybe later when you complete.
Once I complete this HANA administration console, then I will take. Will spend some time on questionnaires. Okay. Let me topic and take the questions. So just my concern was to complete this HANA admin console so that I can take up your questions. Okay. Landscape, you can find all all the services. Then alerts we discussed. Volumes. So in volume, what are the services that hold the data associated with disk storage? Again, the disk storage is divided into data volume and log volume. So what is data volume and what is log volume? We'll see tomorrow in HANA architecture session. configuration. In configuration tab, there are so many INI files available. Okay, here we can do the general settings, and if any specific tool and technology required any specific settings with SAP HANA database, and we can set up those parameters in these INI files. So who will be responsible for all this, setting up the client landscape, okay, HANA landscape at the client side, okay, integration of the different tools with SAP HANA administrators. System information. In system information, there are bunch of tables. From these tables, HANA administrators can find out very useful information related to HANA database. This information is very useful in order to monitor this database engine, okay, in order to troubleshoot the problems that are going to come across in a daily basis. Like you can see backup that are failed, backup transactions, backup catalog, connections, delta merge analysis, failed backups, multi-version concurrency control. I will explain what is MVCC blocker connection, MVCC blocker statement, MVCC blocker transaction. So record logs, there are no record logs. Table logs, there are no table logs. Like this, okay, the system information tab, there are, okay, a bunch of tables which consists of information related to HANA database. But this information is more relevant for HANA administrators, not other team members. If you see, okay, what type of information, most of this table consists of information related to HANA database, which is very useful for HANA administrators. In this table, there is one table, database information table. In database information table, you can find out what is the name of the system, name of the database, host name, as well as the version of SAP HANA. Okay. So diagnosis files, here the system will generate various types of diagnosis files. There are files with the extension TRC, trace files, log files, and these trace files are very important for, okay, HANA administrators to understand the problem, to go to the log files, to find out, to figure it out, the root cause of the problems. There are different types of traces that are available in SAP HANA, but as per your business requirements, project requirements, you can activate these traces. So you don't have to activate all the traces. If you require, you can activate, but whatever the traces that are required for our HANA projects, you can activate only those. So SQL trace. What is SQL trace? If the SQL trace is active, the database calls for a specific database or application users are traced. The trace data is stored in a specific, okay, trace file. Performance trace, expensive statement trace, end-to-end traces, user specific trace, database trace. You can read, okay, what is the use of this trace? If you active this trace, what type of information you can track. So in HANA, some of administration class, so I will show you, okay, what is this database and how to activate these databases traces and how to, okay, find out the corresponding trace files as well. Now I'm ready to take the questions, folks. So what are the concepts we discussed so far in SAP HANA Studio? First one is how to add SAP HANA database instance to Navigator view, how to switch from one perspective to another perspective, and how to go to the administration console, and what are the different tabs that are available in administration console, what type of information you can find out. So to tell you the truth, we did not discuss all the tabs because it's too early to discuss some of the tabs. So just I kind of, okay, I have given an overview of all the tabs, okay. Yes, any questions, folks? So first raise your hand so that I can unmute you, so that we can discuss your question further. Yes, first we'll start with 4-5 students, okay, raise the hand. I will start with Ali. Yes, Ali, you are.
Yeah, Ilyas, so my first question is, when you say when you create an instance with the database, So that means you're trying to connect to the tables in the database.
Very good. So once, okay, you added the database instance. Okay, once you added the system to the navigator view, you expand this. Once you expand this, see we have various options here, various folders. One is backup, second one is catalog. That is our next concept. Catalog, content, provisioning, security. If you expand catalog, in catalog there are different schemas. There are different schemas under which we can create different database objects like tables. So basically what I mean to say is, once the IMC has been added to the navigator view, not only you can work with the tables, okay, you can work with other database objects also like views and all, and that is only one part. Again, you can create the information models. So many things you can perform once the system has been added to the navigator view. As you said, one of the purposes, you can start working with the tables, you can get connected with the tables to load the data, to use the tables for the reporting purpose, to use the tables to create the information models for as of our reporting needs. Yes, Guru?
And you are only connecting to this just SAP database, not to any other database, right?
Yeah, because this is HANA database, right? So in SAP HANA Studio, you can connect with only SAP HANA database. You cannot connect with any other databases. If you want to load the data from other databases to SAP HANA, we can load. In order to load the data from different databases to SAP HANA, we have different data provisioning methods. Like we can use business object data services, we can use SLT. That is the way how SAP HANA will connect to other databases. But as long as in SAP HANA Studio, you can connect to only SAP HANA database. Here you cannot add Oracle database. Here you cannot add SQL Server database, because SAP HANA Studio is capable of connecting to only SAP HANA database. For example, in SQL Server Management Studio, can you connect to the Oracle database? No, right? Can you connect to HANA database using SQL Server Management Studio? No. You can connect to only SQL Server database. Same here also. Hello?
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Vijay.
Yes, Guru. Guru, go ahead. Yeah, I will come to your question, Jayashree. Give me a second, please. Guru Kumara.
No, I had no questions. I just put up my hand 15 minutes back about the frozen screen. That's all. Thank you.
Yes, Jayashree? Hello, Jayashree? Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah, we have the question in the market. Which one is good in basis admin or HANA admin? Salary wise or?
Yeah, basis admin in the sense like you are talking about other basis courses like SAP BW basis, SAP ECC basis?
Yes, basis admin, right?
Yeah,
basis. Yeah. Which one is good?
HANA admin is now is good because we don't have many resources available in the market. HANA admin is good.
Okay.
Every skill has got its own market. Okay. Hello?
Okay, tell me.
Yeah, every skill has got its own market, but as of now, HANA is a new in-memory database. Okay, HANA admin is also very good demand in the market.
Okay. Do you help for placement?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we will help for the placements.
Okay, and we have one more question. Do you show us to data services for bots? From,
this course we are going to see the, let me show
from
you.
Hadoop to source is a Hadoop. On top
Yeah,
of
I will show you. Yes, I will show you how to load the data from Hadoop to SAP HANA using business object data services.
Okay, and last question. Do you please send us the PowerPoint presentation, what you showed us?
Yeah, all the PowerPoint presentations what I am using will be posted in the blog. So once you enroll for the course, you will be assigned a blog. That is nothing but Google site. So in that blog, if you go to the materials tab, you will find all these materials under appropriate folders.
Okay.
So did you get the access to the blog?
No, not yet.
Yeah, once you got the access to the blog, and then I will help you out. How to find out the relevant material, how to post your questions in the blog. So I will take 15-minute session. Once everyone okay has access to the blog, then you guys can use then you guys will come to know how to use the blog.
And also 7 p.m. is too early for us. We can travel from office 7 o'clock only. So 8 o'clock is good time for us. What do you think?
Yeah, we will discuss about the timings because I am in Eastern time. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that with Srikanth. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Nat Kumarasena. Nat, can you go ahead with your question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Are you able to? Yes. Now, if I were to play SAP HANA reporter only role,
Okay.
and I log into HANA Studio, will I be seeing the same screen and all these features, or will it be restrictive?
In SAP reporting?
Yes.
Using which tool you are talking about?
Well, let's say I am supposed to be working on only as HANA reporting functionalities.
Okay.
And I log into the studio.
Okay.
Will I have all the abilities that you're showing us, or will I be restricted to what I have to do only?
Okay, very good question. Okay, the question is, whenever in the project environment you are working as a SAP HANA reporting consultant or SAP HANA modeler, so the question is, can we access all the objects, all the schemas under catalog, or can we access all the packages under catalog? No, in the project environment it's not like this. So whenever you are working on a specific area of SAP HANA, so you will be working with a specific schemas or specific packages or specific objects, okay, for in order to perform your day-to-day related activities. So maybe you require access to a specific number of schemas, specific number of packages and all. So whenever you are accessing the SAP HANA Studio, you cannot see all the database schemas. You don't have access to all the database objects. All other objects. So whatever the objects that are accessible by you, whatever the objects for which you are authorized to access, you can see only those objects. For example, how this restriction is possible is, now as of now, I added this user as a system. What is system? System is a super user. So we don't have any restrictions because this is a training environment. In a training environment, you're supposed to have the access to each and every object so that you can explore all the things in a training environment. So this is a sandbox. That is the reason we are giving access to, we are not restricting anyone, we are not hiding any object from anyone. But whenever in a project, this is not the scenario. The role and responsibilities, whatever the objects, you can access are strictly depends upon your role and responsibilities in the project. Suppose you are a user, Z test. Whenever the basis consultant is creating, this user, so they will allocate the different privileges to this user. So whenever they are allocating the privileges, we have different types of privileges. System privileges. Suppose object privileges. In object privileges, they will grant access to only schemas, only database objects for which you are authorized. See, analytical privileges, package privileges. So in package privileges, whatever the packages, whatever the information models you are dealing with the reporting, so you will be having access to only those objects. Suppose you are working on COPA reports, or you are working on accounts payable reports, or sales order reports, or order to cash, OTC reports. So suppose COPA reports, COPA information models are in this package. So you will be given access to these packages only, not all. Whenever a user is created, a role and system privilege, some privileges will be assigned to the user. So whenever you added the HANA IMC using that user, so you can access only those objects and only those packages you are authorized, not all. Okay. Nishu, yes ma'am. Can you please go ahead with your question?
Yeah. Actually, I just wanted to know about the server access. When can we get the server access?
Server access?
Yeah.
I beg your pardon?
Sorry?
I beg your pardon. Can you please repeat the question, please?
I'm just asking about the server access. I mean, by when we can get the server access?
Yeah, the server access will be given by Srikanth today itself, okay?
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Yes, Victor? Victor, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
You raised your hand.
Yeah, exactly. My question is, on this course, are we also going to consider in BW 7.4 on HANA? Because on my own part, considering my background, being BI certified, and considering that one, if that will be considered also in this course, or I don't know
Yes,
how far on the extent.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So if anyone is having any doubt, like what we are going to learn in this course, what are our course contents. So we already, I guess already Srikanth and team has forwarded this course content to everyone. And for your information, we will be, the latest course content, you will find in the blog. Once you got the access to the blog, I will show you this course content. Now, what we are going to learn in this course. Now, what topic I am teaching, where we are. So, introduction to SAP HANA, what is in-memory database, why we required HANA, we completed in SAP in a demo session. Then, session 1 we started, look and feel means SAP HANA Studio. What is, just now I completed administration view. What is SAP HANA Studio? Navigator view. Next our topic is going to be architecture. Once we completed the SAP HANA architecture, then we'll start with data provisioning. So data provisioning using flat files, data provisioning using business object data services, SLT, then modeling, reporting. Look at this. So are we going to cover BW 7.4 with service pack 8 with SAP HANA 1.0 service pack 9? Yes. Well, what topics we'll be covering? We'll be covering what are in-memory optimized info cubes, in-memory optimized DSOs, upgradation, converting, standard cubes to HANA optimized cubes, then composite providers, transient providers. This is BW 7. So the service pack we are going to cover is service pack 8. So all the new features. Okay. Once you will find out the relevant information by going to administration console. After this, expand. See, there is a plus icon to this HANA database server. Expand this. Once you expand this, here underneath of this SAP HANA database server, there are 5 folders. So currently we are in support pack 9. So that is the reason you are able to see 5 folders. But we'll start with early support packs. Up to HANA 1.0 service pack 3. If you expand that HANA database instance, you will find only 2 folders. What are those folders is catalog and content. So you'll find first one is catalog, second one is content. Okay. What is catalog? What is the importance of catalog? Under catalog, you can see these icons. What is this icon for? Under catalog is, this icon stands for HANA database schema. HANA database schema. Like in other databases, how we have the concept of schema, here also we have the concept of schema. Under catalog, you will find schemas. Well, what is a schema? Schema is a database object. Schema is a database object under which we can group different related database objects. The database object can be table, it can be view, it can be trigger, it can be synonym, it can be procedure, it can be index, it can be function, it can be column views, it can be EPM models. In SAP HANA, if you want to create any database object, the database object can be table, that can be view, that can be synonym, that can be sequence. Every database object can be created under appropriate schema only. If you want to create any database object for your data storage purpose, for your reporting purpose, every database object can be created under appropriate schema only. So without creating the schema in SAP HANA database, you cannot create any database object because every database object will be associated with a specific schema. Every database object can be created only under a specific schema. How to create a schema? I want to create some database tables in SAP HANA to store the data. How to create a schema? Place the cursor on top of IMC or HANA database instance. See, there is an option of SQL console. Once you place the cursor, the SQL console is highlighted. Or right click this, open SQL console. Like in SAP SQL Server Management Studio, okay, in Todd, how the SQL console is available. In SAP HANA Studio also, SQL console is available. In order to create the schema, we have to execute a simple create statement. There is no GUI based environment to create the schema. For example, what is a GUI based environment is, you want to create a table under schema. You can create a table by using create table syntax, or you can create a table like this also. This is called GUI based environment. Just give the table column name, select data type. So we don't have any GUI based environment, GUI interface to create the schema. In order to create the schema, we have to execute a simple create statement. In order to create the schema, create schema name. My schema name is then on right hand side click on execute icon. This is execute button. Once you click on this execute button, see right away there is a message underneath. Create schema successfully executed. If you want to get rid of this SQL console, you can close this SQL console. Now place the cursor on catalog, refresh. Why test 1? This is the schema just now I created. So once the schema is created, under the schema, you can create any one of these database objects. That can be database table, that can be view or synonym or sequence or procedure or index or database functions. Under catalog, as per the client storage requirements, the client can create n number of custom defined schemas. What is a custom defined schema is, well, a client is dealing with information explosion. They have different source systems in different geographical locations, in different, the data resides in this system in different formats. This client wants to implement SAP HANA as one of the solutions for the big data, and the client wants to extract the data from different source systems to SAP HANA. So whenever they are extracting the data from different source system to SAP HANA, in SAP HANA, in which format the data will be stored? SAP HANA is a in-memory database. Though it's an in-memory database, it follows all the rules of, okay, it satisfies all the rules of RDBMS. So here we'll store the data in the form of tables. So we need the tables to store this big data. Can we create tables directly in SAP HANA? No. First we have to create the schemas. So for example, you created 2 schemas to store your finance data. One schema for sales data, one schema for delivered data, like this. What is custom defined schema is? Custom defined schema is a schema defined by client, okay, as a part of their project implementation to store the business data. Now you can see all these are custom defined schemas. If you come all the way to the down, there are some schemas which starts with underscore SYS. See, SYS underscore BI, underscore SYS underscore BAC, underscore SYS underscore EPM, underscore SYS underscore repo. These are called system schemas. Any schema starts with underscore SYS. These are system schemas. What is the difference between system schemas and custom schemas? System schemas comes along with installation. These are the default schemas. Custom defined schema are the schemas that will be created by the customer, okay, the client who is implementing SAP HANA as per their data storage needs. What is the purpose of these schemas? I will explain. Okay, each and every schema as we move on, I will explain. When SAP released HANA 1.0 Service Pack 3, what is the product strategy of SAP HANA? SAP HANA can be used as a data mart, and SAP HANA can also be used as same HANA database can be used as underlying database for BW, in order to accelerate the BW performance. Okay, if a client install an application on top of SAP HANA, a client is using HANA as underlying database for a application. For example, a client is using SAP HANA as underlying database for BW. So if you want to find out what is the database associated with this SAP application, don't worry. When we started with BW, I will show you all these things. So the database information is HDB, HANA database. This is the host name, and owner means schema, SAP BW4. So whenever we are creating any objects in BW, like SAP BW, okay, HANA optimized info cube, any object, corresponding tables of this application will be created in only one schema. What is the schema name? SAP BW4. Only one schema is reserved for entire BW application. It doesn't matter 30,000 tables or 40,000 tables, how many tables we have. Open the catalog, look for a schema SAP BW4. See, all these are BW tables. So the final conclusion is, under catalog, how many types of schemas can exist? Under catalog, custom defined schemas, we can create custom defined schemas. Second, there are some system schemas comes along with the installation, and if you are using any application on top of this SAP HANA database, and you will find relevant schema or schemas related to that application in the catalog. So how to create a schema? Create schema, schema name. Any questions in catalog, folks? Yes, what would be the schema name for ECC application is, whenever the basis consultant is installing SAP ECC on top of SAP HANA, so they are going to give the schema nomenclature. It depends upon the business needs. So when the basis consultant installing BW on top of SAP HANA, they have given the schema name as SAP BW4. So whenever they are installing the application on top of SAP HANA, in that process it will ask what is the schema name you want to give for this application in SAP HANA. Whatever the schema name given by the basis consultant as per the nomenclature of the project, with that the schema will be created in that HANA database. Yes, we'll consider the routines also. Start routine, other things are the same. Yes, sure, Amon. I will explain what is the procedure and methodology. We'll use in say HANA projects. Okay, later on I will show you. So what type of project management methodologies we'll use for the project setup. Yes. So we are not going to email the course content. The course content will be available in blog itself. Okay. So once you got the access to the blog, you can see the complete course content out there. Yeah, the difference between BI and BW is BI reporting tools. BW is a backend system, a data warehousing application where we'll store the historical data. This is BW. So what is SAP BW? Here we'll store the complete historical data. This is a OLAP application or MOLAP application. Here we'll store the data in the form of cubes, DS poles. Okay. This is BW. What is BI? BI business intelligence reporting tool. So using different BI tools, that can be Business Explorer or Business Objects or Cognos, will connect to this SAP BW. Okay, we can select our info providers for the reporting purpose. So this is BW, this is BI. It's up to you, ma'am. Okay, which one? Okay, it depends upon your okay interest, area of interest. Okay, you can select. If you are already a BW consultant, okay, you can go with BW with BI. So okay, if you want to start with BW, okay, you can start with BW and all. No, okay. If you have any questions in catalog, please go ahead so that I can move on to the next topic. Yeah, salary wise, BW with BI is always very good billing when comparing with only BI. Someone raised the hand. Yes, Victor.
Hello?
Yes, Victor.
Yeah, I was wondering, I typed a question already, if there was a naming convention for the schema, because I could see there were some that start with ZZ, and if you are restricted to any naming convention, or depends on the company you're working for when you define the schema.
No, there are no restrictions. Okay, or there are no recommendations also. Start with Z or Y. No. Okay.
Okay.
So as per the business requirements, okay, as per the company business standards, okay, whatever. I will show you later on in the projects how we will follow the naming nomenclature of the objects. Okay, we will do the nomenclature, but there are no recommendations. There are no restrictions as far as the nomenclature is concerned.
Okay, thank you.
Like in SAP BW, whenever you are creating, okay, custom defined object, will follow with Z objects, right? Z, Y. So no, there are no, okay, we don't follow Z or Y to create the schemas here.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, Guru? Guru, please go ahead with your question so that I can move on to the next topic.
I have no questions, Ilyas.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I do not have any questions.
Oh, you raised your hand, sir. Please down your hand.
No, I did not. I don't know how you see that.
Okay. Yeah, Jayashri.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. You raised your hand.
Oh, sorry. I don't have any question.
Naveen. Naveen, can you hear me, sir? Mr. Naveen? Folks, it's very confusing. Please. Okay, once you are clear with your question, please down your hand. Like Victor just now, he raised his hand, again hit down. Means he is clear with his question. I can see hand raised by Guru, Jayashri, Naveen, but none of them are responding. And Guru and Jayashri said like they don't have any question, but for some reason still their hands are raised. Okay. Content. What is content folder? What exactly this content folder consists of? Like this catalog folder consists of schemas. That can be a custom defined schema or system schema or schema related to a application. The application installed on top of SAP HANA. The content consists of, the content folder consists of packages. So these are called packages. So what are these packages? And what exactly these packages consist of? Catalog. So catalog consists of schemas. In schemas, we'll create the tables. There are different objects that exist in the catalog, but important objects are tables and views. Once the tables are created, we will load the data into these tables using different data provisioning methods. So what are the different data provisioning methods are available to load the data to these tables? Using direct flat file upload method. If the data in the source system is not in its original shape, before loading the data to HANA tables, if you need complex transformations to be required, complex data transformations to be required, then ETL based approach using business object data services 4.0, 4.1, 4.2. In these tables, if I require a real-time data, then we can use SLT, Sybase replication method, direct extractor connections, smart. There are different data provisioning methods. So these tables will be loaded with the data. Loading the data from different data from the source system to these database tables is process of data provisioning. So what is a data provisioning in SAP HANA project? In SAP HANA project, the data provisioning is nothing but loading the data from different source systems to these SAP HANA database tables which exist under appropriate schemas. Okay. Once these tables contain the data, eventually I need this data for the reporting purpose, right? So whenever a client is implementing any big data project, that can be Hadoop or HANA or HP Vertica, okay, EMC Greenplum, eventually for what purpose they require this data? For reporting purpose. Using these tables, what are the data that exist in these tables we need for reporting purpose. But as per the reporting requirements are concerned, the reporting requirements are very complex, depends upon the business needs. Well, the client can require multi-dimensional sales reports, multi-dimensional inventory reports, multi-dimensional reports. What is a multi-dimensional report? In the modeling you will see analyzing the information with various prospects. Maybe the client required the data to be combined for a very complex reports from different objects. In order to facilitate our reporting requirements, by using these database tables, under content, under packages, we'll create information models. What is an information model is? Information model is an object we'll create using these database tables in order to facilitate our reporting requirement. Understand my sentence very carefully. What is an information model? Information model is an object we'll create using SAP HANA database tables in order to facilitate our reporting requirement. Okay. The reporting requirement is a multidimensional reporting requirement. That can be multidimensional finance reports or multidimensional COPA reports, multidimensional sales reports. Don't worry, what is a multidimensional report? We'll see in the modeling. So before start modeling, I will give you the complete basic information about the modeling. Star schema, extended star, snowflake schema, all these concepts. So using these database tables, what type of information models we can create in order to facilitate our reporting requirement? That can be multidimensional reporting requirements or very complex reporting requirements. The information models we can create is attribute views, analytical views, calculation views, the important information models. So where these information models exist in Hello? Hello? Sorry folks. Yeah, Jayashree, okay, give me 2 minutes. I will come to your question. Let me finish this package concept, then I will take your questions. So under this package, if you look at the package, under this package, what we can create and what is the purpose of these objects? Under these packages, we can create information models. Attribute views. Attribute view is like a dimension. Analytical view is a star schema concept, a multi-dimensional object for facilitating multi-dimensional report. See, star schema concept. These are the various dimensions connected to a fact table. Calculation views. For very complex reporting requirements, if you have to combine the data from different other objects like multi-providers info sets in BW. You want to combine the data from different analytical views from database tables for very complex reporting requirements. So in order to create the attribute views or analytical views or calculation views, what are the base objects we require? The base objects we require are HANA database tables. So under content folder, you can create n number of packages. What exactly a package consists of? A package consists of information models. What is the information model is? The information models are modeling objects we will create using these database tables in order to facilitate our reporting requirements. So as long as the data resides in the table, okay, maybe okay, those tables does not suit our reporting requirements. Using those tables, we have to model our information. We have to design our information models. We have to create our information models in order to facilitate our reporting requirements. So what exactly the content consists of? The content consists of different packages, and again under each package you can create different information models. So what is the purpose of these information models? These information models you can consume in different reporting tools in order to accomplish the reporting needs of a customer, reporting needs of a client. So what is catalog consists of? Catalog consists of a number of schemas. This is called database schema. The customer can create a number of schemas as a part of the implementation. Those are called user-defined schemas. So what is the content of a schema? The database schema consists of column views. Okay, if we expand that, okay, what are the objects that are listed? Apart from this, you can find, okay, apart from the custom schemas, there are some schemas comes along with the installations. Those are nothing but system schemas, and if any application like BW install on top of SAP HANA, you will find corresponding schemas related to that application as well. Content. So what is this content folder consists of? The content folder consists of a number of packages. What is a package? A package consists of information models which are logically related. For example, you need information models for finance reporting. You can create one package with finance, some nomenclature related to finance, or accounts payable, account receivable, or general ledger, or asset accounting, or COPA, or cost center accounting, or profit center accounting. You can create all the information models under that package. So what are the different information models? Okay, we can create under these packages. The main are three: attribute views, analytical views, calculation views. Apart from that, decision tables, okay, database procedures, and analytical privileges also we can create. But analytical privileges we don't use for reporting. We'll use a security object. So attribute views, dimensions. Analytical view for multi-dimensional reports, star schema or InfoCube concept. Calculation views in order to achieve the complex reporting requirements where the data has to be combined from different information models from different database tables, we can create calculation views. Now, the very interesting question is, why whenever you create any information model, all the information models like attribute view, analytical view, calculation view, all the information models, why the names of these information model ends with view? Because these information models are database views. Whenever we are creating any database, any information model, why once you activate that information model, internally the system will create a view. So whenever you are selecting this information model for the reporting purpose, so basically the reporting will be done based on a view. So why SAP came up with this approach? What is the advantage of this approach? Let us assume we have database tables in the schemas. Using these database tables, I'm creating information models or I'm creating modeling objects. Let me put in this way. I'm creating modeling objects to facilitate our reporting requirements, and these modeling objects also physically contain the data. These modeling objects also, so here I'm taking the fact table, dimension tables, these modeling objects also physically contain the data. In that case, what is the disadvantage? The data redundancy. Suppose here I have customer table, customer master table. Okay, material master table, sale order table. Now for my sale order multi-dimensional reports, sale order table is a fact table, and these are the different dimension tables. If I create this object, and this object also contains the data physically, then what is the disadvantage? The data is repeated 2 times. See, customer data is here, again the customer data is here. Sale order data is here, again the sale order data is here. The disadvantage is data redundancy. Well, there are so many complications eventually leads to the as a result of data redundancy. Disk use, unnecessary wastage of our main memory, RAM, and other issues also we are going to come across as long as this data redundancy exists. So in order to avoid this data redundancy, SAP came up with an approach. Whenever you are creating any information model using these tables, once you activate that information model, internally the system will create a view. Internally, the system will create a view. Once the system creates a view, then we don't have any issue because the view is an object in the database that does not contain the data physically. It's only a virtual object. So in this way, we can avoid the data redundancy problem. So suppose I created this analytical view. Once I activated this analytical view, the system has to create a database object. What is the database object? View. In which schema the system will create all the views generated by the system for this information model is in a system schema. The name of the system schema is _sys_pac. If you expand column views, now you can see all these are the views generated for the information models. How the system will follow the nomenclature of these views is package name / information model name. If the view generated for an analytical view, see, you can see this icon. See, this is the package name / this is a view information model name. See, view. So these many tables are included in this view. That is the advantage of this approach. So whenever you are selecting that information model for the reporting purpose in any business object tool, internally the reporting will be done on this view. So the view is a virtual one. It does not contain the data physically. And we can achieve our multi-dimensional reports. Yes. Questions, folks. Questions on content. Yeah, one by one. Yes, whatever the code you are looking at, okay, it's generated by the system. Yes, okay, creation of the indexes are all possible. We'll see in the index concept. First is Jayashri. Yes, Jayashri, you raised your hand, ma'am. Please go ahead with your question.
No, I don't have any question. How long the class takes?
Yeah, I'm done.
How many hours?
Sorry?
How many hours every day?
Every day, hour and a half to 2 hours, ma'am. If it is a weekday, okay. If it is weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 5 hours.
Okay.
Any other questions, folks? Victor, yes. Yes, Victor.
Yeah, thanks. I was wondering the code that I just saw. You said already the system generates the code, but do we have a situation whereby we have to also, write the codes ourselves in some cases?
Very good question. Yes, we can absolutely. We can write the code. Okay, those are we can write the codes for the stored procedures as per our business requirements. So we will be covering that part also in this course.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Nat. Nat, can you please go ahead with your question?
So if I were to imagine SAP HANA for PW, SAP PW.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So the PW will have all the historical data that you mentioned, coming possibly from ECC,
Yes,
where the transactional data is brought in here. So do you mean to say that we have to physically transfer those PW data to SAP HANA in this process?
Well, if the client is using SAP HANA as underlying database for BW, in that case not. Well, in a project, if a client is using SAP HANA as a data mart, and they want to load the data from different source systems, and SAP BW is one of the source systems, in that case, even we can load the data from SAP BW to SAP HANA, okay, as a part of our big data project implementation.
So a typical PW migration project to SAP HANA, how would that be? Would it involve SLT, a complete migration?
No. So the upgradation from a traditional database to HANA database for SAP BW does not require any data provisioning method. So there is a process, there is a upgradation process, okay, how we will upgrade the database from traditional database to HANA database. Once the database is upgraded to SAP HANA, then all the data, okay, will be upgraded from traditional database to HANA database. But whatever the cubes, whatever the DSOs that exist in BW with traditional database, those cubes will remain same, like standard info cubes and standard DSOs. Then after we have to run the migration tool now to convert them from standard cubes to HANA optimized info cubes and standard DSOs to HANA optimized. So I will show you the complete migration. Don't worry. Okay.
Yeah. So this data provisioning is not about that. It is regular ongoing data flowing into SAP HANA. This.
Yes.
And they could be non-SAP as well.
Yeah, non-SAP as well. Yes, that's true.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, you guys can leave. Thank you very much, folks. Have a good night, everyone.